Hello everybody, welcome back to Sharon from Vivid Days. Hope wherever you are in the world you have been safe and well. We're going to be working with Prussian Brew, titanium white, and then when we come to our sand area we're going to use purple, yellow and some white until you get the desired colour. And I just wanted to find myself a place of serenity, hence why I've called this one Serenity Now. I hope that you're going to choose to paint along with me. Be prepared to go on a dance. Have fun. I'm showing you how I create my ocean pieces, but at any stage you can stop and do what's true to yourself. I feel the best thing to do is to create something that you enjoy, but hopefully be inspired by other people. And if you do find inspiration from my video, remember, thumbs up, subscribe, share, comments are super helpful to my channel. That's the way of helping me grow and continue to put my artwork out there. When you've decided where you want your horizon line to be, put some masking tape there. That will help give you that straight edge. I wanted to explore a little bit with this. You see me coming in and rubbing my little finger there when I remove the masking tape, because I wanted there to be a hazy transition a little bit between where the sky meets the ocean. The higher up your masking tape will be for your sky, the more depth you'll give to the ocean. And if you lower it, obviously most of your painting could be sky with a little bit of the ocean towards the front. But have a fun time figuring it out and then work out which part do you want to be the hero. For me, it was all about a tranquil ocean, a single lazy cloud lapping onto that beach gently. And I think I met the brief of it, but I had fun practicing and trying. I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to art. I am on a learning journey with you all, and it's by doing, learning and repeating, and also looking at other people's channel for inspiration. Do you learn how to try different skills or where to take your painting? Anyway, I'm babbling on. I'm Sharon, I'm digressing. With my sky, I wanted it to be a very soft blue, and I tend to go very vibrant with colours, so part of the challenge for me was restraint. Don't overcommit with the sky, don't overcommit with the clouds, don't overcommit with the waves. You get the feeling, don't overcommit. Anyway, I'm scuffing my brush at the moment, so I do go through my paintbrushes a lot. I love this motion because when you are putting your paint to canvas, especially a canvas board, there's little bits of gap that will be in there. Now, as you're layering, those gaps become a help because it helps keep some of that background colour coming through and helps with that depth feeling. I am focusing on my horizon line at the minute, and I do come in with a tiny little bit of red. You shouldn't be able to see the red, and I blend it through to my sky, because if you really look at your horizons, there's always a tiny little bit of haze there, and it's sort of not a clear white. Anyway, I apply it, and then if I've overcommitted, I just come in with my blue sky again and a little bit white and fade it out. So all you're seeing me do at the minute is blending, focusing on blending, get it to a point where I'm happy. Once I'm happy, I'm going to come in and I am going to pull that masking tape off, and then we're going to start to construct our ocean. Whenever I'm doing clouds, I always think Bob Ross. Less is more. Don't overcommit, don't overcomplicate. Small round motions and slowly build it up. What I love about clouds is if your background is slightly wet, that background colour will come through, and then you'll get some natural transitions between shadow, light. And if you're unhappy or it's not quite right, just fade it out like the way I've done there, and then come back in and keep working it. So less is more, don't overcommit. I'm using a fairly big brush, but I only have a bit on the end. I just love the control, and because this is a chiseled brush, it helps with the effect. When you see me brushing the bottom of my cloud back and forth, that's just because I want a flat bottom cloud. I'm hoping it's going to be slightly darker underneath and the lightness is shining onto the part above. But you can make your clouds however you want them to be. Have fun, go with the feeling. There is no instruction manual when it comes to clouds. Just be very happy with what you've created and bond with it. I'm now just adding a little bit more haze down at the bottom. I thought about adding a few clouds there, and then I realized, nope, it was taken away from what I was looking at, and so I just blended them back out. You may decide to put masking tape on your piece if your sky is dry. I decided I didn't want to because I didn't want a perfect line on my ocean, but I'm slowly forcing that paint into the board and into those little crevices, and I'm just having fun along the way. You'll see me coming with my little finger, and that's where I'm just trying to blend the horizon with the sky so that I'm getting that very subtle blend. I'm trying to bring the sky colour into my ocean as well, because that helps flatten your ocean and helps with that tranquility. And it also brings the piece together. Now you can choose to do your ocean in whatever colour you want to do. Have a feeling of what you want to achieve. And for me, I was really going restraint. And I know I've said serenity, but I just wanted to put control in this piece and not have a rough ocean, which is what I'm used to doing. If you have darker colours to the edge of your canvas, to the right and the left, and slowly make the colour lighter in the middle, that's going to help with that illusion of that natural curvage of the earth, the beautiful world that we live in. Anyway, just keep working it until you're happy. I love sometimes when the paint comes off your brush and leaves a suggestion of where a wave would be, or the difference in the tones in the ocean depending on depth, or if there's rocks under there, or if there is a wave. But think about composition as far as I wanted to put a reflection of where that cloud is reflecting into the ocean. So that's something for you to consider. And also gradiating, bringing your ocean lighter as you come more to the foreground. If at any time when you're painting you want a smooth blending of colour, or your paintbrush gets a little bit dry, just add a little bit of water to it, but go very sparingly. So I added clean water to my brush as I then went across my horizon and the ocean line to try and blur it out again to get that softness that I wanted in the horizon. So just don't overcommit with your water, because you can break down your paint and you can leave streaks in there. Some people may want that if they're going abstract, but I didn't want that for this piece. So I hope that I articulated myself well and you knew what I meant then. But have a little bit of fun, break some rules, make some rules, and just go with that feeling. I tend to find as well, if I have candles burning that's got the smell of orange, or I've got an orange spray that I put on before I start painting, it does help relax me and open up some creativity for me. Give it a go. See how that goes for you, because I think you need to be at one with your piece. Really relax, really focus on every brush stroke of what you're creating. Try not to get stressed. Try not to get distracted by the noise of your day or what's happening tomorrow. Just do whatever it takes for you to breathe and be at one. Anyway, you can see that I wiped out some of the clouds that I did to the left. I didn't want that. And you can see me adding the tones, and I'm trying to get the balance right. For me, I learn by doing, and I'll go dark, I'll go light, I'll add this, I'll add that, I'll remove it, I'll add it. And I wanted to keep this in so you can understand that for me, not being this master painter out there, I'm learning as I go, and I'm quite intuitive. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I love the dance that I'm doing now. So I hope you don't mind me leaving in the full process, just so you get to see me work through it until I get it right. And if you are new to painting, you're not discouraged. Anyway, I'll leave you to listen to a bit of music. I'll come back soon. Thor is wanting me to chuck his ball. I'm hoping you're seeing when you're adding that sky colour into the ocean how it helps it look like the clouds are reflecting on there. You can see in the distance a tiny little dark line that makes your mind think that there is a wave about to start forming. I'm coming in now with a purposeful wave. I use the darker tones, blend it out a little bit, and then work out what my composition is going to be. Do I want the wave to come all the way across like I've got it there? I add the darker area when I know that's the kind of shape I'm wanting for this wave. And if I think I've overcommitted, I'll just come in with that sky colour and blend it through until I get the desired wave. I'm not going to come in with too much detail in the wave at the moment. I'm just focusing on composition and blending my ocean, and I'll focus on when the beach meets the ocean. So I'm going to let you see me slowly bring this in and graduate, and then I will come and talk a little bit more. I am just about to finish working on this area. You could see there was lots of toing and froing until I got the right balance and made it look like that ocean was flat behind that little rolling wave. We're going to move on to our beach here, but please do make sure this is dry. So I use a little bit of purple. I add a little bit of a medium yellow and I mix that together and you get this deep brown. I add white, which will then bring it to the nice sand colour. If you feel that it's too dark, maybe add a little bit more yellow. Should I say if it's more like a purple colour, add more yellow. If it's more yellow, add more purple. When you get the right balance, just keep adding your white until it comes through. Now the beauty of doing this is you could work on the dark area where the sand meets the ocean, which I've already done. Apologies, bit of missed footage there. So I'm just showing you how I mix it up and how I'm going to now get the tones right in there. See how that's now gone a little bit too yellow? You add a tiny little bit of purple, that will tone it down, and you're just looking for that perfect balance of the brown or beige, whatever colour you want to use it. And then when you add a little bit of the white, it'll lighten it up. And then if you work from your purple, yellow and white, you can start with the darker colour, scuff that in, and then as it dries, then add a little bit more white and keep lightening it, because I like to do it so that as the ocean meets the sand, it is dark, and then we'll have a middle colour where it starts to get a little bit lighter and then even whiter. So the only thing that you're missing that you've not seen is I brought a little bit of the sky colour at the front of where that wave touched the beach, and now I'm bringing in my sand to it. The reason I did the sky colour at the front, it adds to that illusion that that sand is really wet and it's reflecting on it. So I reduced the size of that wave that was rolling in, and I smudged or scuffed the sky colour in front of it, and then I put my darker tones of the sand down to meet it, and now I'm just going in and lining it up. So you're not really losing anything that I did, because I'm now going to show you how I bring the sand area alive, scuff it through, graduate my lightness. It helps with that brain being tricked that this area that I'm working on now is going to be slightly drier, is the colour I'm looking for. Word I'm looking for. Ooh, I really am digressing. Anyway, I will start to scuff that colour into my ocean, but again, you don't want to overcommit. Just have it random. That ocean should be really dry. Your paintbrush should be almost dry. Very little paint on there, and scuff it through. And if you overcommit, you just bring your sea back into the sea. You bring your ocean colour back, and I'm scuffing a little bit of that sand into what was that white wet area. Oh my word. Just to break it up a little bit, and again add to that feeling of it being a real beach. I'm going to add a little bit of reflection into that white area. So you see me put a little bit of white onto my brush, and I'll drag it down into that wet sand area and then go across to the side. Now that helps with the illusion as well of the skies reflecting on it, or the waves reflecting on it. You'll see me put white near the wave as well, where the wave's crashing, which I'll talk about a little bit later, and again that adds to the illusion. So still working on my beach area, getting the tones that I'm happy with, start scuffing it through into the areas that I want it to be, but at the minute it's still quite wet, so it's blending beautifully. And that's what you're going to watch me doing at the minute, just focusing on the blending between the sand and the ocean, and adding a few little details for reflections to help that look more real. So I'm paying attention to the area at the front here, and I'm letting the brush just go along the canvas and letting the canvas grab the paint off. So it's going to be, I didn't want it to be one solid colour because that'll help with the undertone of movements and shadows. And this is where I love it when you do something like I've just done there and the canvas makes that effect for you. I'm trying to be very sparing at this stage. I didn't want it to be a big rolling wave coming in, but I did want the illusion that that is just a wave that's just on its way back. So I start with a darker off-white, and then now I'm going in and slowly giving it more white and building that up. And again, I didn't want it to be even. I'm moving it in a slow circular motion, but I'm letting the canvas pull it off. And then you'll see me go back and forth, and that's when I'm trying to blend some into the back as well. And there's a balance with this of not overcommitting with the white, not covering up the ocean or the sand, but showing that that is an area where there would be a little bit more movement. So build it up slowly. If you overcommit, undo it. If you want to get a nice blend in, add a little bit of water to it, and just think about where potentially there might be a little bit of foam or it might be glistening, and yeah, let some of the canvas do the work for you. Don't work too hard, but loving it, loving how this piece is coming together, and yeah, that reflection in that front area, love. I'm just going to go back now and start to work on the ocean and bring in that reflection from the clouds and the sky into the ocean. Again, you'll see me going backwards and forwards until I get a balance that I'm happy with, that it makes sense to me. And once I've done the back area, I'll start to move towards the wave. And I'm going to start to think about, where do I want it to look like? There's those little sea foam coming on my wave. And again, very mindful, I didn't want to overcommit. Start with a very off-white colour. I mix it in with a little bit of blue and put that down to start with, and then slowly build it up. Just making sure I don't cover the darker areas that I did before with the white, so that it really does look like there's different shadows casting on it. And again, I'm using a circular motion, and I'll let the white just grab off the brush at that part. I will then focus on bringing up some of the lighter gradient blues up into that wave to make it look like there's a little bit of movement, and I'll find the balance of that reflection of that foam coming into the ocean. The tiny little things like this do matter. To start with, you just think, what's that about? But it does pay you back at the end piece with a little bit of realism, but also just taking it to that next level. So I'd encourage you to play around, practice, find what works for you. And if you're too into the painting that you might work through something that's good, or you want to know what you want to critique, I either take a photo of it or I step back, walk away, look at it with fresh eyes, and then I can see what works, what doesn't, what do I want to adjust, and is enough, and it's time to walk away from the painting. Anyway, I've talked through most of my process. I hope this is allowing you to paint along with me. If you have, and you think this video is worth it, thumbs up. If you haven't already, consider subscribing. And as always, comments really help my channel, and that's a great way of me interacting with you. Come back on the next video. I hope that you stay safe and well, happy, creative, and have the most amazing week. Bye bye.